What's up guys, Mike here with King of Avalon Follower to do a video that is going to be a long video, and it's going to have to be broken down into two parts. So what started out as our kingdoms, Kingdom 75's KvK, then became a civil war, then back into KvK, and then civil war again. It's crazy. Anyways, started out with RUS, one of the top alliances on our server, actually the highest alliance as far as overall power. You can see the formation that they're laying out in our kingdom, getting ready to defend against the incoming invaders from Kingdom 89. So RUS is getting ready to defend. I'm showing you here some of their power. Hardline's got 34 million power. By the end of these two videos, he's zeroed. But anyways, they're putting this setup, this kind of checkerboard pattern setup, to take up as much space as possible, make it a little easier for them to defend against the incoming invaders. Okay, and my alliance, we're just standing back. We're not doing anything. We're not helping. We're not fighting. We're not doing anything. We're just kind of letting them do their thing. And you can see there RUS with 1.9 billion power, almost 2 billion power just for their alliance. We've got STM/LOD, it's the same alliance, up here, and I'm scrolling over to them right now. They have been the king the last 6 times. Verking has been the king. And word on the street was that LOD promised RUS they would give him the throne if RUS never attacked him or something. They had some sort of treaty where RUS was going to get the throne. Now, in my opinion, I think it's kind of a crappy thing to give him the throne this time around, because Kingdom 89 has only hit us one other time, and the only other time they hit us, they were the best kingdom that we came up against. So it seems a little bit odd to be like, oh, sure, you can have the throne this time around, because I think maybe they just didn't want to fight Kingdom 89 completely, but could be wrong. It does show later on that STM/LOD assisted, and you can see right here actually, and this whole thing started at 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's now 5 p.m. The same day. So this has been going on for like 18 hours, and unfortunately, because of the restraints of my device, I can only record so much at any given time. So I only have little bits and pieces. Not just the entire fight, but I tried to get all the best parts, but I missed some of the exciting stuff. And then just for some of it, I fell asleep. I couldn't stay awake anymore. Anyways, we can see that STM, Verking, is in here in the middle of the Black Forest helping out RUS against the invaders, which are SWO. And the invaders were super organized and really strong. I mean, they came here with a full force. So Verking starts out for a brief time during the KvK in our kingdom, assisting RUS and fending off some of the SWO invaders from Kingdom 89. Really shortly, he's going to go to Kingdom 89 all by himself. None of his players go with him. He just goes by himself. Now, he has 115 million power at the beginning of this. He's got 115 million power. He is a wallet warrior, a strong player. He's been level 30 forever. We still don't have another level 30 on our server. We've got a couple of 29s now, but you can see right there, he's been the king since the dawn of time. Anyway, so he's going to hightail it out of Kingdom 75 and go to Kingdom 89, and I don't know what his plan was. If it was just, I heard a few different things bounced around, that maybe his plan was just to keep some of their big hitters stuck in Kingdom 89 defending, so it would be easier for RUS to defend here, or maybe he thought that he really was going to be able to take them all out by himself, or he just was going to go kind of be a thorn in their side. I'm not exactly sure what the full plan was, but it was a little surprising to see him go over there all by himself, because there were an awful lot of people over there. And while, yes, he is a very strong level 30, and he definitely has a very high power level and troops to burn, only he knows how deep his pockets are, which you'll see later. They're pretty darn deep. There was another level 30, Kern Kipe, in Kingdom 89 that just stayed right on Verking like white on rice, and he had 15 million more power than Verking did at like 130 or something like that, 130 million. So not exactly sure what the plan was, but I'm just narrating it as an observer. Anyways, you can continue to see RUS, they're getting ready. Most of their guys are shielded. They're just taking space up. They got reinforcements put in some of their top players. They're getting ready to get out there and fight. We're running rallies, as you can see. Okay, now here we go. This is a few minutes later. Verking with 113 million power. He's already lost a little bit. He is now in Kingdom 89. And there's KvK with 136 million power. So, I mean, those two guys right there are ridiculous. Now you can see this other alliance, ABC, very well organized. They did not need to do a little checkerboard pattern. They had enough guys to just fill it all in, 2 rows and starting in on a third one. So they pack it in, and Verking is here all by himself. Looks like there was another alliance there, maybe SAS as well, but it looks mostly to be ABC. So Verking's here. As soon as he gets here, they froze him in place. Okay, they didn't want him running. I think their intent was to zero him. And you'll see, I don't get it all caught on tape because it was difficult to film everything plus play the game. But he starts at 113 million. At some point, he sprints one of his forces at another guy, and I think it was a level 21 stronghold that was fully reinforced, and he loses that entire march and goes from 113 million down to 80 million. Then he instant heals or instant recruits, whatever he does to gain power back. He gains 10 million power back in just a couple of seconds by the time I look at him. And then he uses that same sprinting tactic again many other times, and it works really well for him. He knocks multiple people out of the Black Forest, and I caught a couple of them on here, where it looks like, and this is where I was saying I don't know if his goal was really ever to take Kingdom 89, if it was more just kind of be a thorn in their side, because he sits in here and he just scouts people like crazy, and we're back in Kingdom 75 right now if you can't tell, but he sits in Kingdom 89 and scouts people like crazy, and then just sprints at all the level 21s and 22s, and as soon as they get hit, they auto-port out because it's a loss, and he just sprints back to his base, and he just hits one right after the other like that. Okay, so you can see here, tons of marches, tons of people going into Avalon. RUS is trying their best to take it and hold it. Verking's trying to be distracting, and then LOD and STM, if you know the location of alliances in our kingdom, I showed them at the beginning of the video. They're up kind of towards the northwestern corner of the Black Forest. But so RUS is already beginning to struggle with SWO. They really showed up in numbers. I mean, a lot of people came, and they didn't have a level 30 with them, I don't believe. I think they had a 28, and then they had a level 26 named Achilles, who had been the king of their kingdom, I believe, a few times when I went and looked. You see right here, LOD at 1.2 billion, RUS at 1.9, PXR, that's my alliance, and going all the way down, STM with 550,000. Now, it's tough to do a before and after on the power shots because they change which alliance they're in all the time depending on who they're fighting. So you never really know. But you can look at individual players and see their power. And right there, Verking has dropped from 113 million to 101 million. So he's already lost 12 million power. I don't know what he did to lose the power right there, but he lost some. KvK still the same, so I was sitting there thinking, well, he probably didn't get into a fight with this guy, or if he did, it was a huge loss because his power didn't even budge. So again, Verking really sits here, and he's going to take one of the towers. I don't think he took Avalon. I can't remember if he took their Avalon for a few minutes or not. You can see he's dropped to third place now. Neff and Truth are both a little bit higher than he is, and he's just sitting up here. They've got, you know, Doom Flame on him and the anti-teleport thing on him, and he's locked down. So tough, because I'm pretty sure he probably wanted to get out of there. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe this was his plan all along. But, you know, I would have assumed that he would have wanted to book it out of there once he realized how prepared they were for him, especially at the point when he drops down. I think the lowest we see him here is 75 million power, which is 40 million down from where he started. But someone in my alliance who was awake while I was asleep said that they even got him down to 45 million power at one point. I don't know if that's true or not, but and here we are again. I'm rallying, so all the good use that is. But yeah, I mean, he puts up a heck of a fight. He's got really deep pockets. You're going to see here, some of the sprinting tactics that he uses. So he's just kind of scouting all around. He's scouting all these guys, looking for who's weak. He loves to do his favorite move, which he gets me with later. I'll put that in part 2. And unfortunately, like I said, I had been flipping the recording device on and off because I was totally out of space on my phone, and I was just trying to get the best highlights. He hits me while my full marches out of my base, and I just have some reinforcements. You think he takes like 6 million power off me with that one hit, and there's a sprint right there. So that was the first one I got, and he just, boom, destroys that guy, and anytime you lose a battle in the Black Forest, you get ported out. So, boom, he's clearing space, and then I believe he even sprints back, because I think he's just, he's not messing around. So I think that's one of their 28s right there, Hamburger. Maybe that's a 27. But yeah, so Kingdom 89 has a really successful defense setup. I don't think that there was really any chance they were going to take Kingdom 89 unless they took the entire defensive force from Kingdom 75 and sent them to Kingdom 89 on the offensive. So I don't think that Kingdom 75, unless LOD and STM and RUS and EOS and HRD and GRD were willing to put aside their differences and team up with PXR and RXP and DOA and TLF and ANG. So you've got all the alliances that really don't want anything to do with LOD and STM because they've been constantly farmed by them since the beginning of my time playing this game. The way it looks like, Kingdom 89, I didn't see any infighting in their alliances, and you can see there's a couple of different alliances here. They're obviously working together. They got a lot of high-level players. Obviously, they help each other grow. I think they might have shifted focus from let's fight other people in our kingdom to a let's fight other kingdoms, which is a fun way to play the game. Then you don't have to constantly be on edge all the time. You just need to show up for KvK stuff. So, but there's Verkin going to go sprint again, and I think he just takes the tower on this one. Yep, and you can see he's got it right there. So he takes the tower. And again, I think he's just being a thorn in their side, which he's really good at because he's got a freaking load of power. There's nobody there that can just hit him. And honestly, I don't even know if they launched a rally at him with 1 million troops. I don't think they'd take him out. He's just got too many tier 10 troops in his base. Plus, I'm sure he's reinforced right now, and I'm sure he can take nearly 1 million. Right there, you can see RUS doing work on somebody, or maybe somebody ported RUS out actually, but that's the battle back in Kingdom 75. These guys went at it for hours and hours, and finally I passed out, so I didn't get the part where when I woke up, Verking ported back, and he was sitting in Kingdom 75 here, and he was frozen again. My alliance PXR used the anti-teleport spell on him and froze him in place, and then Kingdom 89 was attacking him, and RUS just vacated. They were all gone. Kingdom 89 had the entire area on total lockdown in Kingdom 75. They just had all the towers and Avalon, and they were putting a hurt on everybody who came in there. They had it totally locked down. So yeah, so there's Achilles holding our Avalon right there, and this is the lockdown I was talking about. They just... Oh wait, no, hold up. This is still... I think I just cut it right back, but this is back in Kingdom 89 still. Verking's sitting up there. Yeah, and see, at this point he peace shields. So I think, and I remember you could see the anti-teleport thing clicking down, and he had about 10 minutes left, and I think he just threw the shield on there because he was done screwing around with these guys. They'd taken a whole bunch of his power already, and I think he was going to just cut his losses and try to get back home, back to Kingdom 75, where he could then team up with his buddies and see if he could repel the invading kingdom. Yeah, and so that's pretty much the end of this section. There'll be part 2, which turns into Civil War, and I'll see you for that. All right, thanks, guys.